Hi guys, my name is JC and welcome back to my channel JC Reads. So since 2017 is finally here and 2016 is over, I decided to do my top 10 favorite books of 2016 just to recap on all the good books that I managed to read in 2016. So I read a total of 42 books last year, and for this top 10 books, they will be in order, so I'll be talking about my 10th favorite book up till my first favorite book. Now, I don't want this video to end up being too long and draggy, so I will just give really short descriptions of the books. And don't worry, because I will always leave my Goodreads review to the books down below in the description box. So at number 10 is 15 Lanes by S.J. Laidlaw. This book basically follows the lives of two young girls who live in Mumbai, India, and their names are Grace and Noor, and they both live really different lives. But both of them are facing their own problems in their lives. Grace is being bullied at school, and Noor is struggling to just keep her family alive because her mom is a sex worker who works at the Mumbai red light district. This book honestly was just a really gripping story, and it was so harsh and so real, even though it's just based on a fictional tale. But this book really did open up my eyes to the hard lives of sex workers, especially those who are being forced into it. Trigger warnings for sex and rape and murder and all those kind of violent acts. So if you're not comfortable with reading about those kind of things, I suggest you don't go into this, especially if you're at a young age. But if you think you're ready for it, definitely give this book a try. Also, I like the fact how both the girls, even though you might think that Noor, who definitely has a tougher life compared to Grace, both their problems do not overshadow each other. So you really get to see how people face hardship in a different way. Definitely do give this book a go because the issue that it holds is really important, and everyone around the world should actually read this because it was really eye-opening. Number 9 on my list is Everything by Nicola Yoon. So this book basically follows our main character Madeline, who is basically allergic to the world, so she isn't allowed to leave her house. So the only two people that she sees on a daily basis and interacts with is just her mom and her nurse. But then one day a mysterious boy moves in next door, and then they become friends online, and obviously a relationship blooms from there. Now, Everything was a really cute contemporary read, and at that point of time when I read this book, it was just what I needed. It's really short, it's really simple, and it's really cute. So if you're looking for a really light and easygoing contemporary read, definitely give Everything a try. So number 8 on my list is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. If you haven't already heard about this book or its movie, then where have you been? Me Before You was a book filled with funny moments, filled with sad moments. The sad moments were all just so heartbreaking, and the funny moments were so hilarious. It's got me laughing from like page to page. I really loved how the romance in this book isn't exactly the main aspect of the whole plot, and I loved how Louisa was just such a funny, quirky girl who isn't daring, and I love how this book just shows her improvement. I love the character development in this book. I think it was done really well, and I liked her relationship with everyone else around her. Not only just the romance, but also the familial aspects in this book. So if you haven't already tried Me Before You, go and pick it up guys, because you will seriously not regret it. So the 7th spot on this list goes to This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. This book follows our two main characters, August Flynn and Kate Harker, and both of them are children of two really important people who are from different parts of a divided city. And the interesting thing about this city is that every act of violence committed, it will create a monster. And this book is the first book in the Monsters of Verity series. I really did enjoy the book when I was reading it, but it wasn't until after I finished it for a long while that like the story has kind of stuck onto me, and I realized how much I really did enjoy it. I also love both our main characters so much, August and Kate. I just loved them, and I was so attached to them, and I got so worried for them. And if you know me already, I am a very character driven kind of reader. If I'm not attached to the characters, that means it's not a good book. For this book, I was really attached to the both of them, and I just really enjoyed the whole story, and the whole concept of the city itself is so unique. This book is my first V.E. Schwab book, and if you haven't already tried any of her books, I do suggest this book because I really loved it. Book number 6 goes to The Serpent King by Zentner. So if you're thinking that The Serpent King is a fantasy book, it is not. This book is a contemporary novel and it follows our 3 main characters, Dale, Travis and Lydia. The 3 of them live in a small town and they're kind of like the outcasts in their own school. Each of them are facing their own problems, so you follow the 3 of them as they help each other cope with these problems during their senior year of high school. I really love the friendship in this book. This is also another book which I really got attached to the characters. I absolutely adored the 3 of them, especially Travis. I couldn't help but feel so sad when bad things happened to them, and I felt so happy when good things happened to them, and this book was just really heartbreaking. This book is a debut novel by the author Zentner, and I found that the pacing was done really well in this book. And I really did enjoy it because you get to know the characters really well, and I'm really looking forward to future works from the author. So we're down to the top 5 in this list, and number 5 goes to A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. So A Monster Calls is a middle grade novel where you follow Connor and a monster, and I don't know how to describe this book, but it's a really beautiful book. And if you didn't already know, the movie is finally out on January 5th, so by the time this video goes up, it should be out already, and I'm really looking forward to watching it. This book was very easy to read, but that did not make the message in it less impactful. So if you guys are planning to pick up A Monster Calls, I definitely do suggest that you go for the illustrated edition because this book is illustrated by Jim Kay, and I find that the drawings in here really add to the whole atmosphere of the book, and it just delivered the message much more impactfully. Is there such a word? So yeah, definitely do give this book a go, and if you're not even interested in reading it, definitely do go and check out the movie as well, even though I haven't watched it yet, but I'm pretty sure that it will be awesome. So the 4th book in this list is The Martian by Andy Weir. This book follows Mark Watney, who is on Mars with his crewmates, and then an accident happened which caused him to be stranded behind on Mars. So this whole book you follow him as he tries to struggle to survive and communicate with Earth. If you watched the movie adaptation and you really liked it, I really suggest that you go for the book as well because the book has so much more detail in it as always. But the book is also much more funnier than the movie. It made me laugh so much, and I love Mark as a character. The book looked kind of boring to me at first, but when I started reading it, I just couldn't stop. It was so funny, like I said, and it was also really interesting to see how Mark solves his problems because somehow he just keeps attracting problems and more problems, but somehow he manages to overcome one by one of them. And this book is just really thrilling and mind-boggling and really entertaining. So I do suggest The Martian because I loved it so much. So book number 3 on this list is The Queen of the Tearling by Erika Johansen. So The Queen of the Tearling basically follows our main character Kelsey, who has just turned 16. So that means she has to go back and reclaim her rightful throne. But the thing about the country that she's about to reign, it is really corrupted with magic and crime, and there's just a lot of people who's out there and wanting to kill her. It is more on the slower pace, and it's also a high fantasy novel. And at first I was a bit bored by it, but the more you read, the more invested you get in the story, and it's so good! And the book was just so filled with amazing, interesting characters, which I think the slow pace is really suitable for this book because you get to know all of these characters one by one, and at the same time there's so many threats against Kelsey's life, so you really don't know who to trust. I just found that the whole plot and the whole way that the story progressed was just really interesting. So if you're into high fantasy or you want to go into high fantasy, definitely do check out The Queen of the Tearling. So number 2 on this list is Miller's Valley by Anna Quindlen. Now the only description that I can give to you guys about this book is that it is about Mimi Miller, who lives in Miller's Valley, and you follow her whole life from when she was a teenager up to until she's an old woman. And that's really just what the book is about. This book isn't fast-paced, it's basically just the telling of Mimi Miller's life. And honestly, I thought it would be really boring, but this is the kind of story that creeps up on you and you get hooked onto it without even realizing. Because by the time I finished this book, I was craving for more and I just didn't want the book to end, but I knew that was it because that's all there is to Mimi's life. I really loved reading about Mimi's life, about all her relationships with her family, her friends, her lovers, and somehow the author managed to write this story in a way that makes you feel as if you're growing up with Mimi by her side. and you get so attached to her, and that's why I just really love this story. So yeah, like I said, I do really love this book, and that's why it deserves to be in the top 2 of this list. So what is my number 1 favorite book in 2016? I might be cheating a little, but it's actually 2 books. Number 1 goes to ILLUMINAE and GEMINA by Amie, Kaufman and Kristoff. So if you didn't already know, this whole series is set in the year 2575, so that's about 500 plus years from now. In ILLUMINAE, you follow 2 main characters who are Katie and Ezra, while in GEMINA, you follow another 2 characters who are Hannah and Nick. So basically how this series kicks off is when a huge company called Baytech decides to bomb a whole planet where our main characters Katie and Ezra live on. So you follow both Katie and Ezra as they try to figure out why Baytech started this war. And in the second book, like I said, you follow another set of characters who are Hannah and Nick. But it's because it's a companion novel, but it does start right after ILLUMINAE ends. These 2 books are book 1 and 2 in the ILLUMINAE Files trilogy, and I cannot wait for the 3rd book to come out. One unique thing that stands out about this series is that it's not in the normal book story format, but it's actually told in a whole dossier of documents, IMs, photos, drawings, and webcam logs, and it's just really interesting. The whole format itself is already so unique, but the story itself is also so exciting. It's got me at the edge of my seat. These 2 books are seriously just jam-packed with action, and the characters are so lovable. Like, I love Ezra, I love Katie, I love Hannah, I love Nick, I love the other characters who are in this book. The story is just so good, and it's so mind-blowing. All of you out there, if you're watching this and you haven't picked up ILLUMINAE, please try out ILLUMINAE, because the book is just so good. Both of them are so good. I'm pretty sure the finale will be as amazing as well. So yeah, that's all of my top 10 favorite books of 2016. 2016 has been my best reading year so far in my whole entire life. And I really cannot wait to see what books 2017 has in store for me. I wish you all a happy new year, happy 2017. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you guys next time, bye!